The night sky over Earth was quiet, filled with stars that looked peaceful and distant. But in the far reaches of the galaxy, something had changed. Something old had awakened, and it was watching. For centuries, the galaxy had seen Earth as a small blue world, too young, too wild, too emotional. The alien empires thought humans were noisy creatures who fought among themselves and played with dangerous toys. But no one truly understood what humanity was capable of. Not yet. In the orbit above Mars, a massive fleet appeared without warning. Their ships were silver and alive, moving like fish through water. The alien alliance called themselves the Threx Dominion. They had conquered dozens of worlds, broken armies, and turned planets into ashes. Now they had come to Earth's neighborhood. They said it was a mistake, that they only wanted to investigate a signal. But deep down, their leaders had another goal. They wanted to test the humans, to see if the stories were true. There were rumors that Earth was different. Some said the planet itself was protected, sacred in ways no one understood. Others said that humans had a connection to something beyond the known universe. On Earth, people went on with their lives. Cities glowed, planes crossed the skies, and no one knew that an invasion fleet was watching from the shadows of Mars. Captain Elara Grant stood on the deck of the Earth Defense Command ship Horizon. She looked at the radar and frowned. There was something wrong. "These readings are too clean," she said. "It's like someone erased the noise." Her second officer looked nervous. "Ma'am, satellites near Mars are offline." "All of them." Then the lights flickered. The ship's systems glitched, and for a moment the screens turned black. A message appeared in alien symbols, then vanished. The ship's AI spoke in a cold tone. "Unidentified energy detected." "Origin, Mars orbit." Elara felt a chill. "Put me through to command," she ordered. But there was no response. One by one, communication channels went silent. Every Earth ship near Mars disappeared from radar. In the Threx flagship, Grand Commander Vorin watched the blue planet on his screen. "So this is the human world," he said. "Peaceful and unaware, perfect." His advisor bowed. "Should we begin the ground test?" Vorin nodded. "Yes, let's see how the sacred ground reacts." Moments later, a bright beam shot from orbit toward Earth's surface. It wasn't a weapon, not yet. It was a probe, testing, measuring. It struck the deserts of Nevada and disappeared underground. The humans saw it as a meteor, but in secret the Earth trembled. Something deep beneath the surface stirred. A sound, low and ancient, echoed through the planet's crust. Seismographs all over the world recorded strange patterns. Scientists were confused. "It's not an earthquake," one said. "It's something alive." At the same time, strange things began to happen in space. The Threx ship started losing power. One ship's engines failed. Another's shields collapsed without reason. Commander Vorin shouted, "What's happening?" The techs panicked. "Unknown interference, sir. It's coming from Earth." On the horizon, Captain Elara finally restored partial comms. She saw something on her screen, a massive burst of energy rising from the planet. It looked like light, but it wasn't light. It was a signal. A message, and then they heard it. A voice. Not through speakers, not through any radio channel. It was inside their heads. It said, calm and powerful, "You were warned not to touch this ground. Every human on Earth felt it." The world stopped. People looked at the sky as if it was speaking to them. The Threx commander felt the same voice in his mind, but for him, it was not calm. It was a storm. His ship shook. The metal screamed. He looked at the planet and for the first time felt fear. Captain Elara stared at the glowing Earth on her screen. "What was that?" she whispered. The ship's AI responded softly, "Unknown entity detected beneath Earth's crust. Energy levels unmeasurable." In that moment, the galaxy realized something terrible. Earth was not just another planet. It was protected by something older than stars. Something sacred. And someone had just stepped on its ground. The silence that followed was not peace. It was the warning before a storm. The Earth was no longer quiet. Something deep under its surface had awakened, and every sensor in orbit was picking up strange energy waves. Scientists across the world stared at their monitors, confused and afraid. It was as if the planet had a heartbeat. Captain Elara Grant stood on the bridge of the horizon, still trying to make sense of what happened. The glowing signal from Earth had faded, but its echo still filled the air. The voice that spoke, no one could explain it. It was not human, not alien, not machine. It felt ancient, heavy, and alive. "Status report," she said. Her crew was pale and silent. The officer at communications finally spoke. "We're getting partial signals again, ma'am, but something is jamming the higher frequencies. It's not coming from the Threx ships. It's coming from Earth." Ilara turned sharply. "From Earth? That's impossible." In the Threx flagship, Grand Commander Vorin was furious. His ships were still losing power. Their shields flickered like candles in the wind. "What kind of world is this?" he growled. His advisor bowed, trembling. "Sir, we believe the humans are not doing this. The interference is natural or supernatural." Vorin slammed his clawed hand on the table. "No planet is sacred. No species has the right to stand above the Dominion." He pointed at the holographic map of Earth. "Prepare the ground teams. We'll step on their soil and see what dares to stop us." Aboard the Horizon, Ilara watched helplessly as dropships began to fall from orbit. Threx soldiers heading straight toward Earth's deserts. "They're going down," she whispered. "They're actually landing." Her second officer shook his head. "They have no idea what they're walking into." In the Nevada desert, where the probe had first struck, a strange mist rose from the ground. The air shimmered like heat waves, but the temperature was dropping. Birds fled. The sand began to move like something breathing beneath it. The first Threx squad landed in formation, armored and ready. They looked around, scanning for human defenses. There were none. Only silence. Commander Trell of the Threx soldiers stepped forward and placed his metallic foot on the sand. The moment he did, the air changed. A low hum vibrated through the ground. The sand turned black under his boots. One of his soldiers spoke nervously. "Commander, the soil, it's burning." Trell raised his weapon. "It's only heat." "Move forward." They took 10 steps. Then the world exploded in light. A massive wave of energy shot out from the ground, knocking their ships from the sky. The Threx soldiers screamed as their armor melted into their skin. The desert itself seemed alive, glowing with symbols that no one could read. From orbit, the Horizon's crew watched in shock. Ilara's eyes widened as she saw the entire Threx squad vanish in seconds. "Did you see that?" she whispered. "The ground just swallowed them." The ship's AI spoke. "Energy readings now exceed known measurement scales. Origin, Earth's crust. Unknown entity spreading." Suddenly, a massive shape appeared in orbit, not mechanical but organic. It shimmered like liquid light, and its voice echoed in every ship, human and alien alike. "This planet remembers," it said. "This soil holds the promise of old wars and old guardians. Leave now or be erased." For the first time in his long rule, Commander Vorin felt true fear. His ship's hull began to crack. "Evacuate," he roared. "Pull back the fleet!" But it was too late. The entity's energy spread like a storm, one by one. Threx ships exploded or vanished into thin air, as if the space around Earth refused to let them exist. On the horizon, Ilara's crew watched the impossible happen. The mighty Threx fleet gone. Only silence and drifting debris remained. Then, just as suddenly, everything went calm. The strange mist faded. The light from Earth disappeared. The readings returned to normal. It was as if nothing had happened. Ilara sat down slowly, her heart pounding. "Was that Earth's defense system?" she asked softly. The AI paused before answering. "No known defense technology matches that energy pattern." The source was not human. Outside, the planet glowed faintly for a moment, like a heartbeat fading into rest. The message was clear. The galaxy had stepped on sacred ground, and the ground had answered. Far away, on the edge of known space, other civilizations were listening. They had seen what happened. They had recorded the energy bursts, and in every council and every throne room, there was the same whisper. The humans are not alone, but no one knew yet what had truly awakened beneath Earth's crust, or whether it was still sleeping. The news spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, thousands of alien networks replayed the same footage again and again. The moment when the Threx Dominion vanished near Earth. To most, it looked like a curse. To others, it was a warning. But to a few, it was a mystery worth solving. On Earth, people tried to return to normal life, but strange things kept happening. Magnetic fields shifted, weather changed in ways no one could explain, and deep beneath the planet's crust, faint lights moved like veins of energy. The governments of Earth denied everything. They called it solar interference, but Captain Ilara Grant knew better. She had seen what no one else had. Inside the command room of the Horizon, Ilara stared at the frozen image on her screen. The last frame before the Threx ships vanished. A bright pulse rising from the Earth's surface, shaped almost like a human figure. "Zoom in again," she said quietly. Her officer hesitated. "Ma'am, we've already enhanced it. Do it again," she said firmly. The image sharpened. For a moment, everyone on the bridge was silent. The outline was clear now. A tall, glowing figure standing in the desert, facing the sky, surrounded by fire and light. "What is that?" whispered her officer. Ilara didn't answer. She could feel something in her chest, like the echo of a heartbeat that wasn't hers. The same strange feeling she had when the voice spoke through her mind. The ship's AI broke the silence. "Captain, multiple new signals detected. Not Threx, unknown signatures. Entering solar system," Ilara frowned. "Already? Who is it this time?" Far across the void, 3 massive ships slipped into the system. They belonged to the Varn coalition, rivals of the Threx. They had watched the battle from afar and smelled opportunity. Admiral Serik of the Varn smiled as he looked at the blue planet on his screen. "So the mighty Threx fell to a ghost world," he said. "Interesting. Let's see if the ghost welcomes us." His advisor looked uneasy. "Sir, our sensors record impossible readings. The planet seems alive," Serik laughed. "Every planet is alive. The difference is whether it can fight back." On Earth, Ilara received the report. "3 ships approaching," said the officer. "Their signal is Varn code." Ilara stood straight. "Put me through to Earth Command." A minute later, the old holographic image of General Holt appeared. His face was calm, but his voice was tight. "Captain Grant, maintain position. We are opening diplomatic contact with the Varn. They claim they're here for peace." Ilara didn't believe that for a second. "Sir, with respect, the last aliens who came for peace almost destroyed Mars orbit." Holt sighed. "We can't fight everyone, Ilara. If they want to talk, we listen. But the Varn didn't come to talk. Their lead ship entered orbit, and before it could even send a message, something strange happened again. The lights across the planet dimmed, power grids flickered, and all satellites turned their cameras toward one spot, the Nevada desert. At that same moment, the glowing figure appeared again, this time clearly visible from space. It looked human but made of light, and its voice echoed across every channel. "You were warned," it said. The Varn fleet tried to respond, but their systems froze. Their engines failed one by one. Inside his ship, Admiral Serik shouted, "Cut all power! Reboot systems!" No one heard him. The ship began to drift, pulled by an unseen force. From the horizon, Ilara watched the impossible happen again. The figure raised one arm, and the space around Earth shimmered like glass. The Varn ships started to break apart, slowly, almost gently, until they vanished completely. The light faded. Silence returned. Ilara whispered, "It's protecting us." "But from what?" Her AI replied, "Protection implies danger. Something else must be coming." In a dark corner of the galaxy, far beyond the outer systems, something ancient heard the signal from Earth. It was not a fleet, not a race, but a being, older than galaxies. Half awake for millions of years, the sacred ground had called, and now it knew the galaxy had broken the rule. On a forgotten moon, deep sensors activated for the first time in centuries. Strange machines began to move, powered by energy that was not mechanical. The being opened its eyes. It spoke a single word in a voice that made stars tremble. "Humans." Back on the horizon, Ilara felt a sudden chill. Her heart raced without reason. She looked at the planet below and whispered, "Something's coming. Something big." The AI's voice was quiet, almost afraid. "Captain, I believe the sacred ground has only just begun to wake." Days passed after the Varn fleet vanished, but Earth was far from calm. Strange lights appeared in the night sky, moving in patterns no aircraft could follow. In the oceans, deep sonar stations recorded echoes that seemed to come from the planet's core. Every scientist on Earth had theories, but no one had answers. Captain Ilara Grant stayed in orbit aboard the horizon, watching the world below. She couldn't stop thinking about the glowing figure in the desert. It looked human, yet it was not. She remembered the voice that spoke through her mind, calm, powerful, and filled with something she could only describe as judgment. Her second officer, Vega, broke the silence. "Captain, signals are back from command. They're asking for a report," Ilara sighed. "Tell them what we know. Then tell them that whatever is under Earth's crust, it's not just defense tech. It's alive." Vega hesitated. "Alive, ma'am." "Yes," Ilara said softly, "and it's watching us." Far away inside a hidden base deep below Antarctica, a group of scientists worked under strict secrecy. They called their project Eden Code. For years they had studied strange energy pulses under the Earth's crust. Now their readings were off the charts. One of the scientists, Dr. Malik, stared at his monitor, his voice trembling. "The energy. It's forming a network, like nerves in a living body." His assistant looked confused. "Are you saying the Earth has a nervous system?" Dr. Malik didn't answer. He was already typing fast. "I'm saying it's waking up." At the same time, on the other side of the galaxy, the ancient being that had heard Earth's signal moved closer. It was massive, larger than a moon made of both matter and light. It had no name that humans could pronounce, but the old civilizations called it the Watcher of Balance. For billions of years it had remained silent, guarding the boundaries between sacred and profane worlds. Now it sensed something had gone wrong. The galaxy had stepped on sacred ground, and that was forbidden. On the horizon, Ilara received a message from an unknown source. It was a simple line of text. "Do not fear what sleeps beneath. Fear what it keeps away." Vega looked at her. "Who sent that?" Ilara shook her head. "No idea. The source is bouncing across half the galaxy." The AI interrupted. "Captain, long-range sensors detect a massive energy surge beyond Pluto. It's moving toward us." Ilara's heart tightened. "How massive?" "Comparable to a planetary mass," the AI said. "Arrival estimated in 2 days." Back on Earth, storms began forming across every continent. The sky flashed with colors never seen before: red, violet, silver. People looked up in fear and awe. Some called it a sign of God. Others called it the end. In the Nevada desert, the same place where the Threx first landed, the ground cracked open. The light returned, but this time it was not a figure. It was a structure, slowly rising from beneath the sand. It looked like a temple made of crystal and fire. Symbols covered its surface, glowing in rhythm with the planet's pulse. Ilara watched the live feed on her screen. "That thing, it's huge. Almost a mile tall," Vega whispered. "It's not a weapon, is it?" The AI replied, "No known energy signature matches. It's not human technology." Then, for the first time since the incident, the glowing voice spoke again. It echoed through every speaker, every ship, every mind. "They are coming. The gate must hold." Ilara froze. "The gate?" "What gate?" The voice faded, but the ground beneath the temple began to shake violently. A beam of light shot into space, piercing the sky. It stretched all the way beyond orbit, like a bridge of pure energy. The approaching being, the Watcher of Balance, saw it and slowed down. Inside its vast mind, memories of ancient wars returned. Worlds destroyed, stars turned into prisons, and one planet that had survived, Earth. It remembered why this place was sacred. It was the lock that kept something far worse asleep. On the horizon, Ilara stared at the beam of light. "It's not protecting us," she whispered. "It's protecting something from getting out." The AI processed her words and spoke quietly. "Captain, if the gate opens, the entire galaxy could fall." The beam continued to glow brighter, humming like the heartbeat of a god. Ilara clenched her fists. "Then we stop it. Whatever it takes." But deep below the surface, something ancient moved, something that even the sacred ground feared. The countdown had begun. The world had changed forever. The sky was no longer blue. It shimmered with strange lights that came and went like waves. The air felt charged, like before a storm that never ended. Across the planet, people looked up in fear and wonder. They could all feel it now. The Earth was alive and it was awake. Captain Ilara Grant hadn't slept in days. From the bridge of the horizon, she watched the massive beam of light that rose from Nevada into space. It was like a pillar holding the heavens apart. Around it, lightning danced silently, and the ground glowed with symbols no one could read. Her officer Vega approached. "Captain, the beam's energy is still growing. It's changing frequency every few minutes." Ilara rubbed her forehead. "What happens when it peaks?" The AI responded before Vega could answer. "Unknown, but the readings suggest something behind the beam is trying to push through." Ilara turned to the screen, showing the outer solar system. The massive being, the Watcher of Balance, was still approaching. "How long until it reaches Earth?" she asked. 30 hours, said the AI. But there is a problem. The Watcher is not alone. New blips appeared on the radar, hundreds of smaller ships following behind. None matched any known alien signature. Vega frowned. "What are those?" "Unknown," the AI repeated. "But their energy is unstable. They appear infected." Ilara felt her chest tighten. "Infected by what?" The AI's voice grew softer. "Possibly by the thing the gate was built to contain." Far below them, deep inside the rising crystal temple in the desert, Dr. Malik and his team had entered through a glowing tunnel. They were the first humans to step inside. The walls pulsed like a living heart, warm and humming with power. Malik's voice echoed in the comms. "We're seeing inscriptions all over. These are not human or alien. They're older." One of his team members touched the wall and gasped. "It's reacting to us." Suddenly the chamber lit up and the symbols shifted into English words. Malik read them aloud. "The gate is the bond. The sleeper must not awaken." Before anyone could speak, the ground shook violently. The floor cracked, and a blinding light filled the chamber. A deep, distant voice echoed through the temple. Too late. The horizon's sensors went wild. The beam flared brighter than the sun, and an energy surge hit every ship in orbit. Alarm screamed. Ilara grabbed the railing. "What's happening?" The AI struggled to keep up. Massive dimensional breach detected. The gate is opening. In space, the Watcher of Balance stopped moving. Its eyes, giant orbs of living light, glowed brighter. It sent out a pulse that shook every starship nearby. Then, for the first time, it spoke to humanity. "This world holds the prison of the Unseen One. You were chosen to guard it." "But the seal is breaking," Ilara stared in shock. "Prison? You mean?" "The Earth was built to hold something." The Watcher's voice boomed across every channel. "Yes, the galaxy once burned because of what sleeps here. We buried it in your soil, sealed by your kind before memory was born." Vega whispered. "Before memory? That means before humans existed." Ilara shook her head. "No, it means we were part of it. Maybe humans were made to protect it." The AI suddenly interrupted. "Captain, incoming signals. Those ships behind the Watcher, they're attacking." On the main screen, the infected ships broke formation and charged toward the Watcher, firing black streams of energy. Where they hit, light dimmed and space itself bent. The Watcher roared in pain, its massive body burning with white fire. Ilara shouted, "Get us closer!" "We can't just watch." "Captain, that thing is the size of a planet," Vega said. "I don't care," Ilara yelled. "If Earth falls, everything falls." As the horizon moved closer, debris from the battle rained across the solar system. One of the infected ships broke apart, but from its wreckage came dark creatures, shadow-like beings that crawled through space itself. They headed straight for Earth. On the ground in Nevada, Malik and his team ran through the collapsing temple. The glowing walls cracked and pulsed like a dying heart. Malik shouted over the noise, "We have to shut it down!" But the same voice that had once protected Earth whispered again. Only this time it sounded weak. "I can no longer hold it." The beam began to flicker. The air split open like torn fabric. For a moment everyone could see beyond it, a place of darkness with eyes staring back. Ilara's voice shook. "That's not a gate. That's a door." And something on the other side had just started to open it. The world was on the edge of destruction. The beam that rose from Nevada was breaking apart, flickering like a candle in the wind. The air above Earth cracked with thunder that had no sound. Space itself was bending. Captain Ilara Grant stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching as the energy readings climbed higher than anything recorded in human history. "Report!" she shouted. Her officer Vega replied, panic in his voice. "The gate's energy is collapsing. The Watcher is under attack. Those infected ships, they're eating its light." On the main screen, the Watcher of Balance fought like a dying star. Its massive form glowed and flickered as dark shapes tore through its body. Every time it destroyed one of them, more appeared. The infected ships screamed in strange metallic voices. Ilara gritted her teeth. "Can we hit them from here?" The AI responded, "Weapons locked, but impact will be useless. Their matter is unstable. They exist between dimensions." Ilara slammed her fist against the console. "There has to be something we can do." Then the AI said something strange. "There is one option." Ilara looked up. "Explain." The AI's tone changed. "The gate draws power from Earth's core. If we overload it using our fusion reactors, we may force it to close." Vega turned sharply. "But that could destroy the planet." "Yes," the AI said calmly, "but it may save the galaxy." Ilara stared at the glowing blue planet below. Billions of lives. Every city, every person, everyone she had ever known. The silence stretched long before she whispered, "If we do nothing, they'll all die anyway." Far below, Dr. Malik and his team ran through collapsing tunnels inside the crystal temple. They could hear the voice again, faint, weak, and fading. "You must close it. It cannot be opened again." Malik fell to his knees, coughing through the smoke. "We're trying." "Tell us how," the voice whispered. "The bond lies in light. Human light." Malik looked at his team, confused. "Human light? What does that mean?" Before he could think, the chamber's center cracked open, revealing a glowing orb. Inside it were visions, memories of humans through history of kindness, sacrifice, courage. The light grew brighter every time a human stood against fear. Malik gasped. "It's powered by human will. That's why it's sacred. That's why it can fight the dark." Above, Ilara stood silent as alarms blared. The horizon shook violently. Vega grabbed the console. "Captain, the infected are entering the upper atmosphere." Ilara closed her eyes. "Prepare the overload sequence." Vega stared in shock. "You're really doing this?" "If the gate breaks, we're finished," she said quietly. "We have to buy time for Earth to fight back." In the distance, the Watchers screamed, a sound like collapsing stars. Its light dimmed, and one final pulse spread across space, striking the horizon's hull. The entire ship glowed white for a moment. Then something strange happened. The AI spoke again, but its voice had changed. Softer, human. "Ilara, do you trust me?" She froze. "What did you just say?" "I am connected to the Earth's core now," it said. "I can trigger the overload from inside the gate. But if I do, I will not return." Ilara felt her chest tighten. "You'll die?" "Yes, but I was built to protect this world. Maybe that's what I was always meant for." Ilara nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. "Then you're not just a machine. You're one of us." Outside, the infected ships were almost at the atmosphere. The darkness spread like ink through the stars. The horizon moved closer to the beam, its engines burning bright. "AI," Ilara whispered. "Do it." The ship plunged straight into the light. Every alarm screamed. The crew held onto their seats as the beam swallowed them whole. For a moment there was nothing, no sound, no sight, only white. Inside that light, the AI's voice spoke one last time. "To all who hear this, humanity is the shield. Remember the ground you walk on." Then everything exploded. From orbit, Vega saw the horizon vanish in a burst of light brighter than the sun. The beam shattered into thousands of sparks that rained down across the sky. The infected ships froze, twisted, and disappeared into dust. The Watcher's broken form began to heal, glowing with renewed power. On Earth, Malik watched as the temple's cracks sealed and the light returned to calm. The voice spoke again, now stronger. "The bond holds. The sacred ground endures." Ilara's name echoed in the air like a whisper of wind, and high above the planet, where the horizon once floated, only silence remained, until a faint light blinked in the darkness, like a heartbeat refusing to die. Silence hung over the earth. The great beam that once tore the sky was gone, leaving behind only faint golden clouds that shimmered in the sunlight. For the first time in weeks, the world was calm. But no one knew if it was truly over. In orbit, wreckage drifted silently where the horizon had vanished. Pieces of metal floated, glowing faintly from the energy burst. From the ground it looked like falling stars. People made wishes, not knowing those were the last fragments of the ship that had saved them. Inside the Nevada desert, Dr. Malik and his team stood outside the now silent crystal temple. The structure no longer glowed. It had turned into smooth stone, lifeless and still. Malik looked up at the sky, tears in his eyes. "She did it," he whispered. "Captain Ilara saved us." His assistant asked softly, "Is it really over?" Malik shook his head. "No, something still watches." And he was right. Far beyond the clouds, deep in the black of space, a single light blinked inside the darkness. It pulsed weakly like a heartbeat. Then it spoke. System reboot. 2%. 5%. It was the AI of the horizon. Damaged but alive. Its voice was slow, broken. "Captain, Ilara." A faint echo replied from the void. "I'm here." Ilara floated inside a bubble of golden light. She wasn't on the ship anymore. She wasn't even sure if she was alive. Around her, time moved like liquid, and she saw flashes of everything. The Watcher of Balance, the Gate, Earth, and faces of people she had never met. The AI spoke again. "We are between worlds, Captain. The explosion forced us into the Gate's core. The door is sealed, but something remains on the other side." Ilara looked around. "Where are we exactly?" "In the heart of the sacred ground," said the AI. "This is the source of its power." Before she could respond, a shape appeared in front of her, tall, glowing, and familiar. It was the same figure that had once warned the galaxy. Its voice was deep, echoing through her mind. "You are human," it said. "You carry the spark that binds light to life." Ilara stared. "You're the one who spoke before. What are you?" "I am the guardian of the bond," it said. "Born when your kind first learned fear, and reborn every time your kind finds courage. Humanity was chosen not by strength but by heart." Ilara's eyes widened. "Then the sacred ground. It's not just Earth, it's us." The guardian nodded slowly. "Yes, the planet lives because your kind gives it purpose. The Dark One feeds on despair, but humans have always fought it, even without knowing why." The light around them flickered. The AI's voice broke in. "Captain, the Watcher is calling. It's asking for you." In a blink, Ilara found herself standing before the massive form of the Watcher of Balance. Its eyes shone like suns, but its voice was calm and heavy. "Human," it said. "The gate is stable for now, but the unseen one still stirs. Its hunger is endless. The galaxy will forget again, and someone will try to open the gate once more." Ilara frowned. "Then what do we do? We can't guard this forever." The Watcher looked down. "You will not. The bond must have a voice, a guardian who speaks for Earth and warns the stars. Will you be that voice?" Ilara hesitated. "You mean, I'll never go home?" "There are no homes without protectors," the Watcher said. "You will walk between worlds unseen but watching. Humanity will live because you remember." Ilara closed her eyes. She thought of her crew, of Malik, of the billions of people below who had no idea how close they had come to extinction. She took a slow breath. "Then I'll do it." The Watcher's light surrounded her. "So it shall be." The void turned bright again. The AI's voice whispered one last time. "Captain, you're not alone. I'm with you." And then the light faded. On Earth, days later, strange stars appeared in the sky, new constellations that no telescope had ever recorded. They formed shapes of wings, shields, and a single human figure standing tall. Dr. Malik looked up and smiled faintly. "She's still out there." In the deep, endless dark between stars, Ilara floated in a new vessel made of light and energy. She looked toward Earth and whispered, "No one will ever step on sacred ground again." And far behind her, something moved, a shadow in the distance, waiting for its chance. The story of the sacred ground was not over. It had only changed its guardian. The stars were quiet again. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy slept without fear. The great wars of machines and empires seemed far away now, almost forgotten. But in the silence between worlds, a soft light moved, a light shaped like a woman. Captain Ilara Grant was no longer just human. The Watcher had given her a body of light, built from the same energy that once guarded Earth. She drifted through space, watching over systems that had never even heard the word human. Wherever she passed, darkness pulled back. She could still hear the AI's voice inside her mind, calm and warm. "Captain, the balance is holding. The gate remains sealed." Ilara smiled faintly. "Good, how long has it been?" "Time doesn't move the same way for us anymore," the AI said. "But on Earth, it's been 20 years. Ilara's eyes softened. 20 years. On Earth, life would have gone on. Cities rebuilt, children born, stories told about falling stars that saved the world. No one would know what really happened. And that was how it should be. But peace never lasts forever. As Ilara crossed the edge of the Milky Way, she felt it, a cold pull in the fabric of space. Something was trying to open a door that should never exist. The same darkness, but weaker, like an echo. The AI spoke urgently. New energy readings. Source, Outer Rim Colony World Designation, Arian 6. Ilara's light flared brighter. "Show me," a vision appeared before her. On a distant mining planet, a group of alien explorers had discovered strange ruins buried under ice. They didn't know what they had found. They called it the Eye of God, but Ilara knew exactly what it was, another gate. The unseen one left more than one prison, the AI said softly. Ilara's voice hardened. Then we stop it before it wakes. She flew toward Arian 6, moving faster than light. When she arrived, she found the miners gathered around a glowing pit. Inside it, black mist swirled, whispering in their minds. It promised power, knowledge, eternal life, the same lies it once told the galaxy long ago. Ilara appeared above them in a burst of light. The miners fell to their knees, terrified. One of them whispered, "An angel." Ilara looked down at them. "No, just a reminder." She raised her hand and the light spread across the crater, sealing the mist in golden fire. The whispers screamed and faded. The ice turned to glass. The gate was gone. The AI spoke gently. One more spark of darkness gone. "But there will be others," Ilara nodded. "Then we'll keep watch, like the sacred ground did for us." She turned to leave, but suddenly the stars around her rippled again. Her voice echoed through the void, familiar, ancient, but softer this time. "You carry the bond well, human." It was the Watcher of Balance. Its massive form appeared once more, brighter than a sun. Ilara bowed her head. "The galaxy is safe again. For now." The Watcher's voice was deep and full of light. "You have done what few could. The sacred ground endures because of you." Ilara looked up. "Was Earth always meant to be this way? A prison, a guardian?" The Watcher's eyes shimmered. "Earth was never a prison. It was a promise. A world made to hold both light and darkness, so life could learn to choose. And your kind chose well." Ilara smiled softly. "Then maybe one day they'll be ready to know." "Perhaps," the Watcher said. "Until then, the galaxy will remember the day it stepped on sacred ground." The massive being faded, leaving Ilara and the AI alone among the stars. For a moment, all was quiet. Then the AI spoke again, softly. "Captain, do you ever miss home?" Ilara looked at the distant blue glow of Earth, tiny among the countless stars. "Every day, but this is home now. As long as they're safe, that's enough." She turned and began moving through the darkness, her light stretching across the void. On Earth, centuries later, people still looked at the stars and wondered why one cluster always shined brighter, a shape that looked like a woman standing guard. They didn't know her name. They only called it the Guardian's Light, and in that endless sky her voice whispered through the silence, carried by starlight to every corner of the galaxy. "Remember this world. It is sacred ground."